Yo! Welcome back, everybody. My name is Dr. Michael Weir. I am a doctor of chiropractic. This channel is all about health and having fun. So let's get right down to it. Today, I want to talk a little bit about gardening. Yes, gardening. A little while back, I did an unboxing of actually it's right here, self-watering microgreens garden box. And it was my first step in trying to get my hand in gardening, right? And I'm a terrible gardener. Everything I touch dies. So I want to get involved with this because I find that there's a lot of value. In the culture that we live in right now, I believe that gardening and having a garden in your backyard or in a community garden or even in your front yard has massive benefits for your family, for yourself, for our culture, for our world. So I wanted to get really involved in that. And I dug in and I did a little research, and I wanted to share with you what I found in that research. So let me dig in here. I'm going to share some of those results, hopefully inspire you to go out and start your own garden. Here we go. All right, number one, and this is a big one. Gardening and having a garden in your backyard will save you money. There was a recent article on money.com that said that a home garden can save you up to $600 a year. I'll have the links down in the description for these articles. But it makes sense, right? Produce is expensive. And if you want to get organic produce, it's even more expensive. So when you buy the seeds to yourself, it allows you to save a lot of money. Yes, there is a trade-off, of course. It's your time, it's your energy. But as we'll talk about in the next reasons why self-gardening is super important, those things are actually a good thing as well. Number two, of course, and this shouldn't be a huge surprise to anybody, but it keeps you healthy, right? It might be a surprise to some, but a lot of our produce right now is not grown in the best of situations. There are fertilizers and chemicals and anti-fungicides and all of these different chemicals that get sprayed on our vegetables for many reasons, one of which is being that a lot of our vegetables are grown elsewhere. So in the process to bring them from where they're grown, maybe it's Argentina or maybe it's Florida, it doesn't matter. They have to be shipped here or to wherever they're going. And in that process of being shipped, there's a potential to get bugs on them and to get fungus and to get mold and all of these different reasons. So it's a good reason it happens. But when you grow it yourself, those reasons disappear and it gives you the control back to decide what you want to put on it. And maybe you do want to put those things on, and that's great. But it puts you back in control and allows you to be in control of that process for your own health and well-being. It also allows you to be in control of the soil. Now, this is another big topic for another day, but a lot of the soils of our fruits and vegetables and our produce really don't have a lot of the same values that they used to have 50, 60 years ago. The minerals, the vitamins are depleted from those soils, and they're just not as good as they used to be. A great example of this, go to the store and get a tomato and just look simply at the color. You don't have to taste it. And then get a homegrown tomato. Simply look at the color. What you'll see is that a homegrown tomato is bright red, just beautiful. And a store-bought tomato just doesn't have the same color to it. The reason is that it's devoid of a lot of the minerals that give it its color. A recent article out of Harvard actually discussed this, and they talk about how important it is. And it was a really great article. Again, link in the description, but it talked about how growing your own vegetables keeps you healthier than if you buy it from the store. Number three, research done out of Princeton University, fairly prestigious university, I think we'll trust them, says that growing your own food, growing your own produce actually makes you happy. Yes, that's right. It actually makes you happy. And what they found was that those who had their own gardens actually just were happier people, and they had less stress, and they had less anxiety, they had less depression. So that's a pretty good reason right there. We talked about in number one about saving money. The trade-off is that you got to get out there and get your hands dirty. Well, turns out that getting out there and getting your hands dirty is actually causing people to be happier. So that trade-off is actually a good thing. Maybe it'll save you even more money because, well, you don't have to, I don't know, hire a therapist or something. So number 3, makes you happy. It's a good one. All right, number 4, it can literally change the world. I once read an article and they were talking about global warming and a lot of the stuff that's going on within our environment. And there's a lot of talk politically within even the presidential race last year about that very topic. Now, what this article said was that if every person in the world, now obviously that's a reach, but interesting, if every person in the world simply were to plant one tomato plant on their porch, it would end global warming. It would heal the atmosphere. It would fix everything because we're putting all of that beautiful, rich oxygen and carbon dioxide back into the atmosphere, and it would heal the planet. How amazing is that? I think we live in a culture right now where everything feels out of our control. We have no control. Even our boats don't seem to go very far anymore. This is a way to take control back, to take a simple step of ownership for our planet, for our culture, for our kids, to take back control from big corporations and to say, I have control over that. So simply planting a tomato plant on your porch. Give away the tomatoes if you don't like tomatoes, which you're crazy of, by the way, if that's the case. But take control back. Plant a garden, plant a tomato plant. Do something to take control back because it can literally change the world. Number 5, I've given you some resources within the descriptions below, but number 5, I don't have a link to an article because the proof is on my dinner plate tonight, right? It's that fresh produce from your garden tastes amazing. It is really amazing. I don't know if you've ever done this. If you haven't, I highly suggest you try this. To go and buy tomatoes. I don't know. I love a homegrown tomato for so many reasons. They're just, there's something magical about them, truly. But even like a zucchini or any type of a fruit and vegetable, go to the store and get a store-bought tomato. Cut a slice out and taste it. Then get a garden fresh tomato, rich, juicy, cut a slice of that and take a bite of that. The difference is incomparable. The store-bought one is, again, devoid of many of those nutrients we were talking about earlier. It's not as juicy, it's not as fresh, there's not as much taste to it. Where a garden fresh tomato just is scrumptious. There's nothing like it. It's juicy, it's flavorful beyond compare. I remember when I first had my first banana, a homegrown banana from someone's banana tree in their backyard. And I grew up and I never really liked bananas. And I never quite knew why. I didn't know, whatever, it doesn't matter. Was it texture, was it taste? It doesn't matter. So I said, oh, actually, I don't like bananas. And they said, you have to try this. Just take a bite. So I took a bite of this banana. My eyes got wide. The flavor, I mean, it tasted like a dessert. The textures, everything was completely different than what I was used to. And from that point forward, I actually enjoy bananas now. Because when you know what fruit or vegetable actually is supposed to taste like, it will blow your mind. It really will. They taste amazing. So there are 5 reasons that we should all be growing some semblance of a home garden. If it's a countertop microgreen garden, that's a beautiful start. That's where I'm going to start. If it's a deck hanging tomato plant or whatever it is, that's a beautiful start. But start somewhere. Let's change this world. Let's change our families. Let's change our pocketbooks. Let's change our health. Let's change this world for the better with one small step that we can take back the control of. So I hope that inspires you to go and do that. Go get it done. Make yourself happier by doing it. And we'll see you next time.